Tuck your head and tight. And drop your shoulder. As you roll, look goes in.
So good when you swing.
If I'm 100% honest with you, 2 weeks prior to the fight camp, I had probably the darkest month I've ever had. Unfortunately, had to up my medication for my OCD, anxiety, and was just not in a good way. But then this last 6 weeks now has been flying. You know, training's been great. I'm in, again, like most people always say it, but one of the best shapes that I've ever been in. I'm eating well, you know, going up to a featherweight, I don't have to drain myself, so I'm able to train and go home and actually replenish and, you know, eat how an athlete is supposed to. Yeah, you know, I feel like March 22nd, you're going to see the best Nathaniel Wood yet.
Everything seems to be running pretty smooth. He's sparred very well. There's been a sickness going around. He hasn't been sick. Like, as far as things go, there's no complaints on our side. Every Monday's wrestling. Every Wednesday, he's in my class doing jiu-jitsu. Every weekend, we spar 5 to 10 rounds. He never slacks off on anything. Whether it be Polaris, whether it just be for general fitness, the intensity is always there. Like I said, he is Mr. Intensity. We joke around too much. When we partner up for wrestling, like, I just keep him working.
Let's be honest though.
My bad. Yeah, my bad.
He knows if he asks me any question, if he says, Ash, if I was to fight King Kong, would I win? Of course you will. Ash, Godzilla, you'll be Godzilla too. As far as I'm concerned, I always tell Nathaniel he could be anybody, anytime, anywhere. Whether Morgan Charrier was the 145-pound champ and Nathan was the 135-pound champ coming up, you know what happens? Zero. They both weigh in the same, they both fight the same day, that's it. The mental side doesn't even come into it. The mate's gonna turn up, go live, that's it.
So my coaches are absolutely amazing. I've got Brad Pickett, don't think he needs an introduction. Ashley Grimshaw, my jiu-jitsu coach. I've got Barry Healy, who's my boxing coach. And then obviously we've got my dad, you know, who's my head coach. You know, he's been there from the very start. He knows me, I think, better than I know myself. So to have my dad in my corner is that extra weapon in the arsenal that I think other fighters maybe don't have.
The only way that I could best explain how this camp is in comparison to the others is that he seems to have come into his own. The speed, the power, his athleticism, they're all working well together, they're all gelling together. When we come to work together on these fight camps, the father-dad relation kind of stops and the coach starts, and then it just, as soon as we finish, we're back to normal.
Very good?
Yeah. Good. Good but bored of training then. Yeah, it's ready to fight really.
I do get concerned that we've got to a boring stage of it where there's only so many jabs that you can throw, but at the same point they're the important ones. So we're just drop back onto basics, grind through the camp, get the fight done, and then enjoy life afterwards. Pretty much destroying me on pads, you know. I have to actually ask him to pull back out now. Bantamweight wasn't so bad, I could take a lot more of that, but now he's moved up. Some of it does take its toll.
You know, that's why I've got a great dad, because he's willing to put his body through all of that for me. But yeah, you know, I don't think he wants me to fight anymore. I know fight week's very painful for him now. I know that the anxiety kicks in, and who wants to see their son get in a cage and fight another man, you know? So, yeah, I'm very fortunate that I've got my dad in my life.
Barry's taken over a lot more of the patch from me, and I'll be honest, I don't think I would be able to do 2/3 pad work sessions with Nathan without it having a detrimental effect on my health.
Once. I still have to train him anymore. Can't wait.
Yeah, pound for pound is up there. Speed. It's the speed and accuracy. That's the killer. People can hit hard, but he can hit his maximum power for 5-5s. Do you know what I mean? Sharp, clean, straight right hand, left hook is hard, good jab. I think every coach and every fighter says this every camp, but this has been a great training camp, you know. Start of it, he wasn't too in a great place, he was a little bit anxious, and he's pushed through that like a champ, and he's just come out the other side a fucking machine.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
I've actually never seen him in this shape before. His fitness is ridiculous, the gas tank's ridiculous, and mentally super strong.
Push. Good. Fucking fit, man.
I feel like this has got to be his last fight before something top 15. Just keep the spirits high, sharpen him up, make sure there's no injuries, got one sparring left. Yeah, get him to the fight day.
What's this one?
That's a bishop.
That's the one I go diagonal.
Diagonal, yeah.
Very excited. It's like weird because like if you could have asked me 5 years ago like where can your first 2 fights be, I would have said it would be sick to fight in China because I'm Chinese, being half Chinese. But I'd love to fight in that O2. Do you know what I mean? Being on the same card as them, it's just like all happened at once. Yeah.
And that, my pedigree chum, is checkmate.
Nice.
Obviously, in the last sparring session, it's very important that he has a good session. He feels good about it, but then also let's not get injured because he's so close to getting a payday. So, like, kind of thing, you don't, and a lot of lies on that. Something you don't want to lose out on that just for ego within the gym. So you have to be very careful with the sparring partners he chooses, and then learn to rein him in when he needs to be reined in, sort of thing.
I sparred Nath for years and years and years. Just get ready to go live. You're gonna have a fight. That's what every round is with him like. Some guys are a little bit still, I don't want to say new to the sport or new to hard sparring. They're just not used to intensity.
Let's go. Chin down. There you go. Every time you go to the inside, you overhand left foot local. Let's go.
For this one, as it's gotten closer, he has seemed to have got meaner and equally sharper as well. But when I say meaner, he's not throwing harder. It's just the speed and accuracy has gone up like 10 to 15%. You can't, I've never seen it so sharp.
When Singles is bringing Arla, his daughter, into sparring, and people say, oh no. And I said to them, well, what's up? Because when he brings Arla in, it's like he's fighting for his life, you know.
I love you.
It's quite funny. But yeah, it just seems extra motivated, you know, this one.
Look at this for motivation, yeah? Zoom in there, Ben. As if I needed any more motivation than that. Here's my baby. That's motivation for you.
The biggest difference with this fight camp than my other ones is, I think, my motivation. I think my mindset's changed now that I've got my daughter. That's my motivation, you know. That's why when I'm fighting, I'm not thinking about anything else other than provide for her. You know, I've got another child on the way as well now, so life's got serious.
He's had a great camp, but he's one of those people where he can have a terrible camp. On fight day, he switches on really well, you know, like, so, especially on home soil. He's not been beaten on home soil. He's a home boy, and this is brilliant. It's in his backyard in London. Yeah, I have very good feelings about this fight.
Main thing for me now, no injuries. Fitness is there. And the good thing as well is that all the rounds, most of the boys are fighting on cage rows the night before, so everyone's fit. So it's not like I've had a fight camp where, you know, my opponent, my sparring partner, sorry, is out of shape, out of camp, you know. Everyone in this gym is sharp. All the rounds. So 2 more weeks and it's fun.